I read this in like 3 days, which I knew I would. I seen how big the words was, and I was like, oh, this book gonna get got. Hello, welcome back to Shonae's Law, or welcome if this is your first time. I am Shonae. We are officially into March now. We're at the end of the first quarter of the new year. And for some people, they may have fallen completely off track with their New Year's goals and resolutions. But no need to fear. Spring is upon us. It's only a couple of weeks away. Spring is all about renewal and new life. So this is the perfect time to take control and get back on board for what you plan on doing this year. We only have about, 9 months left now? So it's important for you to make the most of the time that you do have left so that you don't have to be feeling all insecure or down in the dumps that you didn't do what you said you was going to do. So this is the perfect time to renew any fizzled out goals and to light a little fire behind y'all because that is what some of y'all need at the end of the day. You need a little motivation. It's like Uncle Jeezy said, we need some motivation. Hey. It's just like Uncle Gigi said when we were little. We need some motivation. We need some inspiration. So today, we will be discussing the top 6 life-changing and motivational books that you all need to be reading at the top of 2019 or throughout 2019 to get focused, to get back on track, to be getting this money, to be achieving these life goals, and to stay focused so you can make the most of the remaining months of the year. Let's jump in, shall we? Number 1 is probably my favorite book. It is called 48 Laws of Power. It is written by Robert Greene. Now I know, yes, don't judge me. I first read this book in January of 2016. And yes, I do annotate. I believe everybody should annotate. I read to study. And I wrote little notes along the side, and I tried to, I connect the dots, look at the home court advantage. Even though you might not agree with everything that Robert Greene says in this book, please be mindful that a lot of people do. A lot of people feel this way, they maneuver this way, and you don't want to be left behind. So even if you don't actually execute a lot of the things that are in here, you need to be cognizant that some people are moving this way. And to them, this is the Bible. So it does not hurt for you to be up on game as well. Throughout the book, it does discuss a lot of historical figures, such as Queen Elizabeth, and I think he mentions Shakespeare. He definitely mentions Cleopatra, Napoleon. He mentions a ton of people that are relevant in today's literature, and they're often referenced all through college, of course. Those are mentioned, and he goes into detail about some of the tactics that they used to be relevant and mentionable in 2019. What they did, how they did it, and why they did it. I really love this book. Rule number 1, never outshine a master. Law number 3 says conceal your tensions. Then I think number 29 is plan all the way through. Like, this is a lot of really good motivational and life-changing things. Yes, plan all the way through. See, I told you I read this book. I love this book. It's really dope. It's a good read. The font is it's not too hard to get through. And he has a ton of sources. So you can always fact check him. You can always do your own research. And most importantly, you can, make sure that his receipts are up to par, which they are, because he has a lot of good books in case you are interested. He has 33 Strategies of War, The Art of Seduction, and he also has Mastery. I've read them all. I even read the 50th Law of Power, where he collaborated with 50 Cent. 50. Is you a wankster and you never pop that 50. 50 from Power. That 50. They have the 50th Law of Power. I have the letter bound edition with the gold bookmark. Dope. Anywho, I have all of those books. I've read them. I've annotated. I definitely suggest that you all get you a copy of this so you can make your moves and give them 48 laws a shot. Okay? Moving on. Number 2. This is actually a book I heard the audio book on YouTube, and I just thought it was super dope. The author is very funny. She cracks me up. She's an Italian woman, and throughout the book it tells us all these great things about how we need to reevaluate our relationship with money. You Are a Badass at Making Money by Sincero. Now, The audiobook I loved. It was about 6 hours long. So I got through it in like a couple of days. I listened to it in the morning, getting ready, commuting to and from work and on breaks. And what I realized throughout the book was she had a lot of money mantras. It would be things like, I love money and money loves me. I love money because it calls when I come. She has a lot of money mantras that we're supposed to be quoting on a daily basis. And there was just so much that was sad and so many activities that I was like, you know what? I ain't gonna feel like constantly listening to this over and over and over. So I just broke down and I bought the hard copy. And of course your girl annotated because that's what I do. That's what I do. But it was very motivating. She's a very inspiring author. Her audiobook it's hella funny. So if y'all find yourselves listening to it, you know, I definitely recommend it. But again, it's full of money mantras that you're supposed to recite daily. You're supposed to really delve into the law of attraction. So you're supposed to recite these things every day to make money feel comfortable and make money attracted to you. You're supposed to do these things on a daily basis, and you're not supposed to be ashamed to say that you love money, because rich people love money. A lot of them don't come off arrogant or selfish, but they love money. And our society has taught us to be ashamed to say that. They say that money is the root of all evil, when money is a tool, money is a resource. So I think this is a really good book for people. And again, this is an easy read too. The font is fairly large. It's not a hard read. So it was extremely informative, and I think it was going to really help a lot of people develop a healthy relationship with money. Everybody doesn't know how to properly save, spend, and appreciate money when they have it. They just spend it like it's going out of style, and they don't know how to really just embrace it and be thankful that it's there for them. So it's really motivating because, again, you learn how to develop a healthy relationship with money if you already don't. Or if you don't have any money, a non-existent relationship with money, how do you get that? And as an MBA, you know, I love business, I love money, so I really just gravitated towards this book. So overall, it just discusses the power of the law of attraction and the law of willing in money so you can live a very financially stable and prosperous life overall. At the end of the day, we all know poverty. Poverty is very hard to live through and be happy when you can't pay your bills and you can't eat. So again, that's why I bought the paperback book, because she mentions a lot of things in here. And I didn't want to keep trying to listen back to the audiobook. I definitely think it's a great reference. So if people, you know, are struggling with money, they need to give this book a shot, you know. I'm grateful to money because, and you fill in the blank. So I really wanted to have that, you know, at my leisure. So I can say things like, I am grateful to money because it allows me to live a stress-free, a prosperous life, and to really do the things that I want to do, and not because I have to work at a job to pay my bills. Get it? All right, let's move on. Book number 3. The Wealth Cure by Hill Harper. Now, I know what you're thinking. Hill Harper, you know, that's that boy from CSI. Look, I know about CSI. My mom loves CSI. I knew he was the man. I knew he was a Harvard Law graduate. You know, I knew he turned actor. But see, I didn't know he was the man. I actually have another one of his books. I have one called Letters to a Young Sister. I've had that book for a few years. It's just sitting on my shelf. I need to give it a read in 2019. I need to do it for the 19 and the 2020. I need to go ahead and quit playing. Yo, this book was so good. I was shocked. It was fast. Again, this was a quick, simple, easy read. And what I love is that, see, basically throughout the book, he talks about how important it is to have what? A healthy relationship with money, how to develop it, how to use it as a tool and as a resource, and not to be afraid of it and not to take advantage of it. So if you win a lottery day, don't be all out here spending it up on frivolous items because you are letting money know that you don't value it. You don't cherish it. You don't cherish that money. You give it right back. So he talks about that, but he incorporates the idea of health. And once you really read the book, you can see what people really mean when they say health is wealth. He goes into detail. So he takes, I want to say, maybe a 3-day train ride from like Cali all the way to Chicago. And if you read the book, you'll know why. He's basically diagnosed with thyroid cancer, and cancer runs in his family. I believe he had an uncle or two that died from it. His grandpa, like people get diagnosed, and a lot of his family had a lot of doctors and professional people. So overall healthy people, but still got cancer. So he really reevaluate his entire life during this train ride. He met a lot of interesting people and he was very motivated to do something. He came up with his idea of a wealth care, you know. And in the book, he talks about how his ex-girlfriend, her trade-off was, I would rather spend more money on clean, healthy, organic food than to pay a plethora of money on hospital bills later for poor health. So I think this was a really good book. I'm glad I read it. Again, these books were all easy reads. You can get through them like a week if you really try. But it was a really good connection of health and wealth. Like, you need health insurance because you don't want to pay thousands of dollars if something happens to you, Lord forbid. He talked about the importance of having a will, having health insurance, having life insurance, things that a lot of people don't talk about, especially younger people. Like, ain't nobody worried about all that right now. You know, some of us are, but most people, it's like, it is what it is. I'm young, I'm fly, I'm flashy, I'm going to live forever. Not true. But he really tied in and talked about a lot of good topics. But I really loved how he talked about the law of attraction with money and health. You will a positive lifestyle. You will a positive health. And do you want to know if he got over that thyroid cancer? Read the book. Book number 4. Now, some of you have probably heard about this book before. I've been hearing about it for years. I heard people on YouTube raving about it. I've heard a couple people in college raving about it, but I never really, I never really gave it a shot. But it was definitely on my book list for 2019. I said, you know what, let's just knock it out. Let's just get it over with. So I went on and got it. I got it for like $4 to $5, I believe. And I got Think, Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. I have to tell you, I was pretty shocked. And again, they talk about some of the old school ideologies, and I think they talk about the KFC man, and how Henry Ford, how a lot of people wanted to give up, but they didn't give up. How they used the law of attraction to gain wealth, to gain confidence, and how they really just gave it their all. So this book also suggests the manifestation of wealth through the law of attraction. It also gives activities for you to do, for you to write down, for you to recite. You're supposed to have gratitude every day. You're supposed to be thankful every day. You should believe that you already have the money and know what to do with it when you get it. That's the problem. A lot of people say you won a lottery today, you get 10 million. And if you get it in installments over a few years, or if you get a lump sum, you need to have a plan. Where is the money going to be? Who are you going to bank with? What are you going to do with it? How much are you going to save? How much are you going to spend? Are you going to quit your job right away, or are you going to wait until things settle down? What are you going to do? You got to have a plan. Everybody has to have a plan. That's how you know that you're putting it in the universe and you are serious, and money will recognize that. Money will feel comfortable to come to you because it's like, she has plans for me. We're going to have a future together. She's just not going to spin me all up on red bottoms and Michael Kors bags. She's going to plan a great future with me. So then the money will come. It also talks about how you should believe that you have the money that you desire to have, what you're going to do with it, and that you deserve it. A lot of people are ashamed to say that they deserve that money. You work hard or you invent something, you deserve your money. And I thought something that was interesting because, again, law of attraction is a big thing, low key. The book suggests that you should write down very detailed information about the money that you want, be it the amount, what you're going to do with it, how it's going to be spent, how you want to receive it, and the date that you want it by. Like, for instance, today is, March 9th. So you have to say by June 30th of 2019, I want $10,000 in clean money, and I want it so I can put it in my credit union account to get my house remodeled with. You have to be very, very specific on how you want it. That's what the book says. So I think I'm going to try to really incorporate a lot of these things more so than what I do now, because as you can see this trend here, these last few money books have been all about the law of attraction and manifestation and believing that you deserve the money and having plans for that money, which is true. Because if you don't plan, a man without a plan is not a man at all. Moving on, number 5. So I actually saw this book a few times throughout my life. I actually saw a parody that was on Facebook about Christopher Columbus Day from these two guys on Facebook. It was hilarious. But I noticed the guy was reading this book, and I was like, you know what? I keep seeing this book pop up everywhere I need to do something about it. And so I just finally said I'm going to do it for the 19 and 2020. So the 4 agreements, which is written by Miguel Ruiz. I hope I'm saying that right. My inner Puerto Rican is on pause. But anyway, this little book, now it's very small. It's only 138 pages, but it's really powerful. It discusses how we should unlearn certain things that we learned in our childhoods and try to start living our life on our own terms with our own expectations and not to meet the expectations of others. So it gives out like 4 main agreements on how to love yourself, how to properly be able to love others once you love yourself, and overall how to live your best life on your own terms. It was a very short read, but it was really good. I read this in like 3 days. Which I knew I would. I seen how big the words was, and I was like, oh, this book gonna get got. But it's really good, and I recommend it. It's very motivating. Very motivating. And it's a short read. So I think y'all should go get you one of these. Get on the Kindle if you want. Get on the iBook. Doesn't matter. For me lately, I've been really wanting to just have the book in my hands and just really study and highlight and annotate. But it's a really good book. I think y'all should try it out. I'm not just saying it to be saying it. Of course, this ain't a sponsored video. I'm just saying, like, you need some motivation. You need to get back on track. You need to have a better year. Then these are some of the tools that are going to light that fire up underneath your behind. If you want to know what those 4 agreements are, then you need to go get the book, because I'm not going to help you cheat. And again, you know, all of these I'm pretty sure all of these are on audio. All of them are. So if you're not a real self-proclaimed reader, get the audio book. You need to get this information some type of way. And it does not hurt for you to be able to listen to it morning, noon, night, or at your own leisure and just get a hold of the information that way. So, number 6. Now, if you watched my most recent foot video, my 1-year anniversary for my foot surgery video, I mentioned that I'm very interested in going not really vegan, but very much plant-based. So I've been doing a lot of research on organic foods versus processed foods and the dangers of them. And so I saw this book last year, because mind you, I was doing a lot of research while I was on medical leave last year as well, trying to heal faster and change my life. And I was, teeter-tottering about a lot of things, and I came across this book, and I bought it, but I finally went ahead and read it. It's also a short book as well. And they were talking about the importance of alkaline foods versus too much acidic foods versus base foods. And that, I got back into Dr. Xavier a lot. So I picked up this book right here. It's called The Alkaline Plant-Based Diet by Akil, Aniys. Y'all see the name, go Google it, okay? Him right here. So, and the first thing I started reading about, of course, was the caged chickens and how the chickens are caged and they're cramped up and they're living in their own fecal matter, and it causes them to get sick. Of course it's going to cause them to get sick. They're living, breathing, they're around that stuff every day. And it start talking about the living conditions of the chickens and how they feed the fecal matter to the cows, saying it has protein. It just got real deep. I'm not going to give too much of it away, but mind you, I've been doing really well. I have not drank cow milk in about 8 months. I have been strictly on plant-based milk, be it coconut milk. I had a little almond milk here and there, but I am no longer on cow milk. I will never purposely drink cow milk ever again, because if you know what they did to those cows to keep them pregnant, we won't go there. Anywho, so I picked this book up, and of course I read it front to back. There's also recipes in the back if you are interested in becoming vegan. Everything from teas, soups, salads, lots of great things. Lots of great things back here. They give you a lot of good ideas on what you should be eating versus what you shouldn't be. Well, what I loved was, it wasn't just the author preaching about don't eat this, don't eat that. The author goes into a lot of great detail about why you shouldn't, why we get sick from eating meat and processed foods, and goes behind the scenes and just really explains it in a way that I think everyone can understand and really appreciate. So for me, it was a very informative and life-changing read. I think what with the book explaining the horrible conditions that these animals are in, all for us to be able to eat. You know, they talked about the production farms, excuse me, y'all know I'm a little country. So I think the way the author explains the GMOs and how they're made and how the federal government and how certain things they just let slide, I was really amazed at what people consider to be acceptable. You know, what we think the FD and everybody has such a high standard for health, and then you find out reading this book like, oh, so they let that slide. You know, it was pretty life-changing. I think you should read it. I really do. Even if you don't give up cow milk, and even if you still eating all that fast food, and I promise you, if you read this book, you're going to look at food real different. You're going to be like, I don't even much want to go to McDonald's no more after what I've been reading. You ain't going to want to go there no more. You're going to be in the store looking at that meat like, you go. I'll tell you, it's something different. It's something very different. But I enjoyed it, and for me on my journey to better health, I could appreciate everything that I read. So we'll probably do another one of these throughout the year, probably towards the end of June when people are giving up halfway throughout the year. But I think these 6 books are very life-changing and very motivating, and going to get you back on the right track. So thank you all so much for watching. Be sure to like, comment, and share this video with anybody else who needs some motivation to get everybody back on the ball rolling. And if you love the video, you like what I post on my channel, go ahead and subscribe. My name is Shonae. I'm going to see you on my next video. Bye.